Could you handle the truth about soul legends, the good, the bad, and the shocking? Loved or hated, it's all subjective. Every artist has fans and haters, and sometimes the lines blur. Anyway, let's dive in and check out what people in history have to say. Let's start by introducing some of the most loved singers. Number 1, Amy Winehouse.
He's just not as tall, but
You probably expected soul legends like Aretha or James Brown, but I'm starting with Amy Winehouse instead. Here's why. She was iconic, crazy talented, and an amazing songwriter. She won 6 Grammys and a bunch of other awards. Her album Back to Black was the 7th best-selling album of 2008 and still sells like crazy. Over 20 million copies worldwide. You might be thinking, her achievements can't even compare to Aretha. But let me tell you something. Amy Winehouse's story is way more than just awards. Her fans remember her as honest and real. People say Amy Winehouse was ahead of her time, but what does that really mean? Back in the 2000s, she openly talked about her struggles with mental health and addiction, something almost no one did. Some hated her for it, but that's also exactly why fans still admire her today. They don't get why people hate her and get annoyed when she gets called names. Fans showed her empathy over and over. One big example was her 2011 Brazil concert. She forgot her lyrics multiple times, and instead of getting mad, the crowd helped her out every time she had to leave and come back. Beyond her music and style, she did charity work too, donating over £20,000 in clothes to a London charity shop, supporting breast cancer awareness, and speaking out about climate change, and much more. But the thing that really hit me was when she paid for someone's emergency surgery and literally saved the person's life. Do the haters even know all this? Honestly, probably not. And she's just one part of our series on soul icons. We've got a full video on 12 R&B soul songs we'll never forget if you're curious. Number 2, Sam Cooke. When people call him the king of soul, they mean it. Sam Cooke is one of the pioneers and most influential soul figures. Billboard ranked him number 28 on the 35 greatest R&B artists of all time. His death, however, was tragic. What happened afterward, with his widow and best friend, broke fans' hearts and sparked tons of anger toward Barbara Cook and Bobby Womack. I'll get to that story later, but for now, just know his fans' devotion ran deep.
Please give your loving heart to me.
When Sam died, so many fans showed up at his funeral that streets were blocked. They loved him that much. Bertha Franklin, the woman who shot him, even got death threats and had to quit her job and disappear from public life. Even after the court cleared her, Sam's family and fans couldn't accept it. Here's the story. Sam, who had been unfaithful before, met a woman named Elisa Boyer. She says he took her to a motel against her will and tried to assault her. She escaped, and in the chaos, Sam confronted the motel manager, Bertha Franklin. They struggled, and she shot him in self-defense. Even with all the scandal and confusion, nothing could take away how much people loved Sam Cooke or the power of his music.
Send me honest to do.
This kind of talent isn't just the famous stuff. We've got a list of 12 obscure soul bands you need to hear. Number 3, Tina Turner. Some fans loved her because she became a superstar even after her husband said she'd be nothing without him. Her determination and resilience made people admire her even more. Even people who didn't like her at first eventually grew to love her music. She worked across R&B, pop, and rock, but got crowned the Queen of Rock and Roll. one of the best-selling artists ever, over 100 million records sold. She first rose with her husband, Ike Turner, but after leaving him, she won a Grammy for What's Love Got to Do With It. She kept going, breaking concert records and even acting in films. With 12 Grammys and a spot among the greatest singers ever, she was truly one of a kind. That's why people loved her.
There's something inside that's so right.
After leaving Ike, most people saw her as this innocent woman who suffered under an abusive husband. The public felt for her, which only made people admire her more for her music and talent. Aretha Franklin. Of course, we can't finish this part of the video without mentioning Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul. Named the greatest singer of all time, she sold over 75 million records worldwide and won 18 Grammys. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. She was brilliant from a young age, and it's amazing how the church has given us some of the best voices in the world. Aretha's musical journey started there, and the rest is history. In 2012, Aretha Franklin was called the voice of the civil rights movement, the voice of Black America. Billboard later named her the greatest female R&B artist of all time, and President Obama said of her 2015 Kennedy Center Honors performance, "American history wells up when Aretha sings." Rolling Stone called her the greatest singer of her generation. She passed away in 2018 at 76, but her voice, her music, and her legacy, absolutely timeless. But let me tell you a little bit about her personal life. One thing Aretha Franklin rarely talked about in interviews was her early pregnancies. She had her first son at just 12 and her second at 15. But while she was busy building her legendary music career and spending time with friends, her children were raised mostly by her grandmother Rachel and her sister Irma, with Aretha visiting them when she could.
Think about what you're trying to do to me.
Drop a comment and let me know if you love these artists as well. Now, let's move on to the most hated soul singers. Number 1, Amy Winehouse. Now, let's flip the coin. We already know why fans loved her, but some people saw her as not very beautiful, too slim, heavily tattooed, addicted, and not even that talented, which, by the way, isn't my opinion, and it breaks fans' hearts, but the hate didn't come from nowhere.
It's a losing game.
Some people even claim no one hated her, but that's just not true. There's plenty of debate and evidence that people did. Whether on purpose or not, she sometimes disrespected fans. She had mental health struggles, drugs, and alcohol issues, but imagine keeping a big crowd waiting in bad weather, then showing up 45 minutes late. People are gonna get upset. This happened in Birmingham. The show got booed, some people walked out, and she even swore at the audience. One critic said, "It was one of the saddest nights of my life. I saw a supremely talented artist reduced to tears, stumbling around the stage and unforgivably swearing at the audience." Sometimes she even went on stage and didn't remember what city she was in or her band members' names. It was so bad that local news called it a disaster. No wonder the crowd booed.
Now, is there any way for a man to carry on?
Part of the reason people hated Amy Winehouse? The same reason they loved her. Her brutal honesty about dark, messy things forced people to confront their own struggles, and most just couldn't handle it. Number 2, Bobby Womack. You can be insanely talented and still end up being the most hated person. Sometimes the artist just sitting there thinking, wait, what did I do wrong? That's Bobby Womack. People hated him, fans, family, even people in the music biz. But for him, it didn't make sense at all.
Walk through the caravan.
When people asked why he married Sam Cooke's widow right after Sam died, he'd say stuff like, "Sam would understand. I was just trying to look after Barbara. I was scared she might hurt herself. Barbara had her own side too. I was a mess. I just lost my baby boy, only 18 months old, drowned in a pool. I was broken and couldn't resist Bobby. Honestly, that made me less judgmental. I'm not saying what they did was right, especially since people still remember Bobby showing up at Sam's funeral in his suit, driving Sam's car, standing with his wife, and then trying to marry her right after."
Let's hear for the Valentinos one more time.
The marriage even got rejected at first because Bobby wasn't 21 and didn't have family permission. But there are still fans who love his music. Some even say that all that drama somehow gave us some amazing songs. Bobby admitted marrying Barbara messed up his life, especially his career. He lost his family. They were furious. DJs stopped playing his songs. Crowds booed him at shows. People just couldn't handle what he did to Sam Cooke.
Girl, I'm in love.
It got worse. Word got out that he cheated on Barbara with her daughter, Sam and Barbara's daughter, who was only 17. People were shocked, and then it got even messier. That daughter, Linda, later married Bobby's younger brother. Put it all together, and you see why people hated Bobby Womack, even though he was exceptional in so many ways.
Across the 110th Street.
Like I said, it doesn't matter if you make iconic music. If your personal life is messy, people notice, they judge, and they won't forget. Why do I say he was exceptional? Well, Bobby was special from a young age. His dad wouldn't let him or his brothers touch his guitar, but that didn't stop them. Once, he tore a string and then tried to fix it with his shoelace. You'd expect a beating, but his dad just asked him to play the guitar and he blew him away. He was that talented.
She's Sarah's lady. She panhandles pennies.
He could play anything, country, soul, you name it. But people just seemed to never forget what he did. Number 3, Ike Turner. Ike Turner reportedly married 14 times, though he said he couldn't remember exactly. That alone didn't make people hate him, and neither did his drug use. So, why did people hate him? Because of Tina. People already loved Tina more, and his abusive behavior toward her made him lose favor. Details about the abuse came out through Tina herself. She explained how violent Ike was and how she regretted promising never to leave him. A promise she made because of lack of affection from her mom.
You had blood in your mouth
Yeah.
when you were singing.
It was the first time I experienced it when I had a nose problem, and I didn't know. I'd never had a broken nose before. It was cracked there or something, and
From one of
course-
the beatings.
Yeah, this was one.
Tina walked away with nothing and built her whole life from scratch. The end story is beautiful. She became a superstar, and Ike's reputation was ruined. He never accepted the accusations, claiming he never beat Tina, just sometimes slapped or pushed her without
Be
thinking.
walking around looking sad, with a lip drop, and I keep asking her, "And what is the matter with you?" And it's always, "Nothing." Yeah.
Not everyone believed him, though. Tina was respected, and Ike already had a reputation for being aggressive with band members, taking credit for others' work and being controlling. Who do you think people believed? And that's a wrap. Those were some of the most loved and most hated soul artists.
We don't need another hero.
If you've stuck around this long, you'll probably enjoy rivalries that shaped R&B soul music forever. Thanks for watching.